Here's Dewayne Staats. Does a wonderful job. He's covered the Rays forever. He's doing a nice favor for us today, working and coming out with us before he's got to work all day. And he says, hello, Dewayne, it's a pleasure. Great to have you with us here. Well, I will start with Adam, who never gives up home runs. He's had an incredible year. Something unique there, and something that the Jays are unaccustomed to, the Rays, that is, with the home run yesterday by Bichette in the bottom of the 8th. Let's talk about that first. Go ahead.
Yeah, Adam has been really great out of the bullpen, and I think afterwards he second-guessed himself a little bit. I don't know that there's any reason for that. He thought maybe he should have thrown a change-up instead of a slider, but, you know, we can do that all night long, all day long, second-guess. He's been so good, and it's one of those things. And I'll tell you, the pitch wasn't that bad a pitch. Bo Bichette is just unbelievable. When you see him like the guys here in Toronto, they see him on a daily basis, and you know, we see him, 18, 19 games. He is unbelievable, though. I mean, he hits pitches that other hitters don't hit, and he hits them well, and I think we saw part of that in that home run yesterday. So I don't know that I fault Adam so much as have to give the accolades to Bo Bichette, because he is as hot as any hitter going right now.
100%, and the Tampa's had a good success against Toronto this year. Now, listen, I never thought they were going to catch the Yankees anyway, so even though they got close after Friday night, you had to figure the Yankees are going to bounce back. So now, to me, Dewayne, it's the issue of where Tampa, if they want that home field advantage, they're going to make the postseason. It's going to be they, Seattle, and, of course, Toronto. It's just a question of who aligns where. What's your take here down the stretch these last 20 games for this Tampa team regarding the actual race with the two other teams for home field?
Yeah, they have 23 games left, and 14 of those are against the Blue Jays and the Astros. I looked at this schedule when it first came out, and I looked at their September schedule, and I thought then, boy, this is going to be a difficult road. They'd better have a big lead. So they're in a dogfight right now. They're going to have to pull out all the stops here. I think you're right about the 3 wild card spots. The interesting thing, that third wild card spot will probably play the Cleveland Indians or the Cleveland Guardians. I know you and I both do this all the time, but the Guardians, you've got to give them credit. But I think, that third wild card team might take a look at that and think that might not be a bad matchup.
100% right. Excellent. You want to be fourth, Dewayne, to get the home field, but if you can't do that, you've got to be sixth. Why the heck do you want to sit there and play Toronto or Seattle? I mean, you'd rather play Cleveland. All right, let's talk about McClanahan comes back on Thursday. What's the thing we keep an eye on with this Tampa team down the stretch? Their offense? A little worn-out scenario with their bullpen, or their starting pitching? I know Springs today has been very good. We know Rasmussen has been very good. Give me a little sense of what we need to keep an eye on in these last 20-something games with this Tampa team. Go ahead.
Well, they're very happy to know that McClanahan's going to come back. He had, as you know, that little shoulder flare-up, and that appears to be okay. Anxious to see him. If he's good, their starting pitching has been just the bedrock, really, of this team. They've used all kinds of guys out of the bullpen. They mix and match, as you know. In fact, they're gonna mix and match here, I think, in the second game of this day-night doubleheader. Offense has been a challenge, and part of that has to do with injury. But I think they were going to be challenged a little bit, particularly when you compare the offense of a year ago to this year. It has not matched up with what it was a year ago, and pitching has been the real key for this club. Night in and night out, even defense, and this club is known for that. First half of the year, the defense was not what they had looked for. Second half, it's been much better. So you go back to pitching and defense to keep you in games, and you try to figure out a way to score enough runs to win.
Franco, of course, played against the Yankees and pinch hit last night. He's missed a lot of time this year. Do we expect a resurgence and a very effective Franco these last 20 games, Dewayne? Thoughts on that?
Yeah, he's in the lineup today. They're going to start, and they certainly need him. That would be a big lift to this lineup, because in that number 2 spot, he can get things going, power-wise, speed-wise, the whole thing. And that's going to be a key for this offense as well. They'll take anything they can get to help in this lineup.
Yeah, 100%. Now, listen, You know, they did get Bichette mad. These two teams are, you know, rivals. Tampa's played very well in Toronto. Has played well against the Jays all year. But, you know, maybe a little riled up with this Toronto team with the Bichette hit by pitch last night. Not intentional, but it was dangerous. Maybe they riled Toronto up here this week. What's your take with that? Let me hear.
Yeah, it's always been a great matchup. You know, over the last few years, the Rays have, I don't know if they've dominated, but they've won the season series. A little different situation this year. It seems that this Toronto ball club surging at the end. They're going to be tough to hold off. There's no question about that. And you're right, it was not intentional, but still, Bichette is the heart and soul of this lineup right now. And when there's a pitch in that neighborhood that hits one of your guys, that's going to upset the bench and the manager and the coaching staff. And so I think, you know, after Mejia was hit the next inning, things kind of settled down, and let's hope they put that to bed.
And last thing, Dwayne, on the schedule, the advantage they might have with Houston is the Astros are not going to be playing for anything in those last couple series. They play in the second to last series of the year, and then before that, 3 in Tampa. But the Astros have that home field locked up with the Yankees, so they may not push pedal to the metal. That could be an advantage the last 15 days. Your thoughts with that?
Yeah, I think the Rays like the way you're thinking there, and that absolutely could be the case. You know, a team locks everything up like that, and they're going to rest some guys, and they might lose a little of that edge on a day-to-day basis. But at some point there near the end, you know, they're going to want to get all that back. So they're still going to be tough, and at the end of the day, Rays are going to have to go out and win some games. If they win games, take care of their own business, they've got a great chance then to get into the postseason and do some damage there.
Good job there, Dwayne. Have a busy day. I always appreciate a few minutes. Thanks very much here. Keep up the good work.
Always great to be with you. Take care of yourself.